loves, it's Brit, and in this video I'm talking about Jupiter inconjunct or quincunx to the ascendant in the natal chart. So this video was requested because there's not a lot of info out there on inconjunctions in general, which I feel like is wrong. There should be, because it's such a significant aspect showing difficulty and a really hard to pin down energy in ourselves that is just needing to be resolved. And by reading it, by talking about it, by thinking of the signs that the quincunx or the inconjunct is taking place in, we can really be better and more effective. But without doing that, it's like we don't even realize what's going on, because it's even more internal than the square or the opposition, the other hard aspects. The inconjunct causes a lot more of like a internal mental crisis energy. So with Jupiter inconjunct to the ascendant, there's some difficulty in self-expression. So inconjunctions to the ascendant or quincunxes to the ascendant show that there's some awkwardness in the way that we project our energy out. How we act, how we respond to situations. We can feel kind of awkward. With Jupiter, it's not so much insecurity in that it's sometimes we come off too strong, and sometimes we don't come off strong enough. It's like we don't know how to be the right amount of too muchness for our personality. Like we're having a hard time balancing our expression, our, ascendant energy, which is a lot about our physical energy and our first, intuitive response to situations, our personality, right? We're having a conflict in being ourselves and expressing our bigness, our expansiveness, our beliefs as well, but also our successes and what we're naturally talented at. So you can see people with these, or with this aspect, sometimes being very boastful, or like almost like talking about what they're good at or their goals or their accomplishments, like too much or not enough. It's like they don't know how to have that balance between, like expressing their Jupiter and all its giftedness and their personality. So sometimes it's like they're boastful, and sometimes they're not mentioning all their achievements enough. And it's like they struggle with having that balance. The other thing is that if this inconjunction, if Jupiter's in the sixth house, that's going to be a little bit different if Jupiter's in the eighth house, or depending on the house system that you're using, it could potentially be in other houses. But usually the inconjunct aspect is kind of a sixth house or an eighth house energy. And especially with inconjunctions to the ascendant, that's going to be a theme. So if it's in the sixth house, the health is going to potentially have more issues from this awkward expression, because it's going to show maybe a physical block or some sort of block in the routine. There's something about the day-to-day routine, work, the like what we're doing as far as service, that's not how our personality expresses itself. Like there's something that we're doing in the day-to-day level that's not matching up with how we need to express ourselves. And so it can show creative blocks, it can show throat chakra blocks, like not being able to say the right thing at the right time, out of fear, and then saying too much at other times. And then this can end up making us feel like, oh, that came out wrong. And then that can end up leading to throat chakra blocks, which could end up leading to certain health problems or uncertainty in what we want to do for our daily life and service. Now, if it's coming from the eighth house, that's going to be an even more psychological block, like where, I find people with Jupiter in the eighth house, it's like they have all these deep knowings and all of this like psychic knowing, and then it's like how to express that through our personality, it's like it doesn't come out right. We either act like a know-it-all, or we act like we don't know anything, and it's like hard to balance that. So either way, there's an issue of balance in the personality. That is something that we're learning, is how to live a balanced life where we can express ourselves as who we are, without dimming our light. See, that's a big theme for this energy, is like being too much or not enough. It's like, how can we be just the right amount of our personality, right? And that's going to come from actually internal thought, right? Like that's how the inconjunct aspects get resolved, is like we need to go through an internal process, because when we externally just continue to act, we keep doing the wrong things and we don't figure it out. And that's kind of the awkwardness with the inconjunct, is when we keep acting and we keep doing the thing that we don't mean to do, we kind of just get stuck. Like it's like we have a hard time being both at the same time. So what needs to happen is some sort of integration, some sort of internal process needs to realize, okay, I can be this first house myself. I can be myself and still share my beliefs. I can be myself and still be confident in the right amount without coming off too strong or egotistical. I can be myself and be healthy physically and have a good routine or whatever. So it's about integrating those two signs. So you really want to study with every inconjunction or quincunx that you have in your natal chart. You want to study the signs that are trying to be expressed, because when one sign's being expressed, the other sign feels left out, and that leaving out of the one sign will cause health issues, will cause the mental tension, the crisis, right? So it's a very difficult thing to do, and it's not easy to do, but you have to meditate on the two signs and how you can express them simultaneously. And the life is going to look different than other people's, because you contain both of these energies that are very different. And so usually with this in conjunction, the life path is going to look different. The day-to-day work is going to be something different. Teaching is a really good outlet for Jupiter in conjunct to the Ascendant, because when we have to go through all this internal process to do with our beliefs, and Jupiter can also represent like higher learning and education, this can end up giving teaching ability, because the inconjunct aspect causes so much internalization and analysis of our inner self, that like when Jupiter is in an inconjunction, it can end up leading to a lot of deep wisdom about our own personality, but also about how other people express themselves. So you could end up helping others with their self-expression or authenticity or beliefs, right? So that's another theme with this in conjunction, is going to be belief systems. Like either we seem too strong in what we believe, or not strong enough. So it's about being open to others' beliefs, and maybe even sampling a bit of different belief systems. You might find that the belief that you were brought up in isn't the belief you're going to carry on with you with this in conjunction. You're going to end up, like I said, kind of sampling different belief systems. That's definitely going to be an issue. And then learning how to express what you believe in a way that's not forcing others to believe it. In conjunctions to Jupiter can sometimes show that it's like, on the one hand, where we can be very forceful with our beliefs and try to like force other people to believe that. Jupiter in conjunct to the Ascendant, we want to like tell people what we believe without needing to make them believe it. Or it's not so much we need them to believe it, it's like we don't even realize that when we're just expressing ourselves, we're seeming forceful, like into, okay, you need to believe this too, when really that wasn't our intention, but we just seem forceful like that. So It's definitely a more difficult one for expressing ourselves because um, we'll notice that people don't respond to us the way that we wanted them to, or that we come off wrong. And it can be frustrating, but it's not as difficult as other inconjunctions because Jupiter always wants to learn. Jupiter always wants to continue expanding, and it's like you will work on this and you will get it right, and you will be able to express both the energies at the same time. It'll just take time. It'll probably be, midlife, and then you'll figure it out. It'll click and you'll be like, okay, this is how I can be myself and express myself in the way that I'll say what I want to say and what I mean to say, and other people will hear what I'm saying. It just takes a lot of clarification and rethinking things, and it is kind of like you'll have to sometimes internally process something first before you express it out if you want to be clear on things. If you want your expression to be clear, if you want people to understand you, you're going to have to internally process your Jupiter, your beliefs, your expansion, your goals, energy, your exuberance. You're going to need to kind of first internalize it, and then it'll be ready to shine out to others. And you have a very captivating personality that is definitely gifted at teaching and being Jupiterian. It just takes a little bit more work than others. So it's not a horribly difficult position. It just shows some awkwardness and some misinterpretation from others, people misinterpreting you. So it takes time to work that out. But I'd love to know your experience of this aspect. If you've had it in your natal chart or you know someone that has it, let me know in the comments, you guys. And thank you so much for watching. We'll talk soon. Bye.